Yeah, so on the phone we have Chopper Reid. Good morning, Chopper.
Hey, g'day, how's it going?
Yeah, pretty great.
So can you tell us a bit about repeat offender?
Yeah, basically, it's all about one man's struggle with his own nature. And when I say that, I mean, when you walk past someone, you're like, geez, I'd like to punch him in the face. And then you do, and then there's all these consequences for it, you know what I mean? Like, just for sort of 2 moments of pugilistic satisfaction, and you find yourself in bloody police cars and lawyers and you guys, you're like, well, was it worth it? You know what I mean? And then the problem is, a week later I find myself doing it again. I'm like, come on, you've made this mistake. How many times do you have to do it before you learn for it? You know, and people tell you to follow your heart. But I followed my heart, and I went to prison, and I got stabbed, and I decided my heart's a fucking idiot.
Yeah. No, I understand. So you're doing 14 shows over here next year. Is that the most shows you've done in New Zealand?
No, I think I've done more than that, actually. Not that it's a competition or anything like that. But yeah, no, last year I did a massive tour, and at the end of it I just didn't even know what was going on.
Yeah.
So I thought, maybe this year, no offence, Timaru and Oamaru, but you guys can jump in the car. I'll see you in Dunedin or Christchurch or something like that, you know.
So we're based in Palmerston North. Have you been here before, and what were your thoughts of the place?
Oh yeah, I really love Palmerston North. Last time I was there, the guy who ran my motel was pretty weird. He was like, "Oh, what do you do?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm a comedian." And then he was like, "Oh, yeah, I'm a pretty funny guy," and he started giving me a bunch of tips about it. And I was like, "So you're a comedian full time, and the motel thing's just a hobby for you, or what's going on?" And then the worst bit is he started doing that thing, that tired thing, where he's like, "Oh, these days, back in the good old days, you could make jokes about ethnics and women and stuff like that, but everyone's all sensitive about it these days." And I'm just like, all right, you Nazi, settle down, you know what I mean? Like, don't tell me about the good old days. Next sentence would have been like, do you know what I liked about the good old days? Slavery. And you're like, I can't believe I'm talking to this dude.
So you spend a lot of time over here in New Zealand. Do you prefer New Zealand over Australia?
Yeah, I mean, I'd get in trouble at home if people knew I was saying this, but yes, you know what I mean? As I've said a few times before, Australians like to think we're laid back, we're like, we're laid back, we're so laid back, if you don't think we're laid back, I'll cut your face. And then, you go to New Zealand and you guys are like, oh yeah, I might put some pants on, and you're like, that's the right attitude.
Yeah, for sure.
You go to like a small town in New Zealand, there's just a bunch of big dudes, you're gently ice skating around a pack and save in their socks, you're like, yeah, it's the right vibe,
So, with your show, is there a lesson you want people to take away with them after seeing you here?
Oh, yeah, maybe. I don't know. I mean, there's a big thing in comedy these days where you've got to tell people how to feel and how to think and who to vote for. And it seems like telling jokes has kind of become secondary to the whole process. So, I like people to laugh a lot. And if they improve themselves as a person, that's an accidental bonus. But, if you're looking for life lessons, and you just watch The Big Bang Theory, you know what I mean?
For true. So you're known for speaking your mind. What's been annoying you lately?
Oh, there's been a bunch of stuff annoying me lately, but mostly, it's like all the Apple products that I bought. You know what I mean? You know how Apple makes sure that the more you update your phone, you whatever, the worse it gets at being a phone. And then you want to get cranky and yell at someone, and you go to an Apple store, but there's a bunch of idiots who've been camping out overnight to get the next one. And you're like, well, I've got a complaint. And they're like, well, all these fucking idiots in their sleeping bags don't have complaints, so maybe you're the problem. And you're like, well, you idiots, if you didn't bloody camp out for phones, I'd have a chance of whinging about this. But obviously, I don't know, just a bunch of idiots putting their hands up and going, yeah, Steve Jobs, have a crack at me.
Nice.
So, another bit of like a life tip question. What if you had a life tip for our listeners? What would it be?
I don't know. I kind of.
Is there kind of like a motto you live by?
Yeah, I guess one of the things that I find myself saying a lot is, don't be sorry, just be less shit next time.
Yeah.
These people are like, oh, sorry about that, and then I do it again. And you're like, well, how sorry were you?
For true, man. That's deep. Have you ever enraged anyone with your opinions on them?
Yeah, I think so. But, you know, they're just my opinions. I mean, there's this big thing these days about cyberbullying, you know, like, some stranger out there who doesn't know me or understand me saying bad things about me quite publicly. I'm like, that's just having your show reviewed in the bloody newspaper. Stop having a cry about it,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? But yeah, so, you know, it goes both ways. I piss people off, they piss me off. It's like a kind of a cranky, negative, toxic, karmic circle.
Yeah.
So what do you think's been your biggest achievement so far?
Well, I was going to say staying alive, but I don't really really stick to that anymore. I don't know. I think talking at people and doing it for a living is pretty good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's a bunch of people out there who don't even get to drink beer at work. You know what I mean? So it's the little things like that that keep you going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So here at Radio Control, we like to ask the question, if you were a fruit, what fruit would you be and why?
Tough questions.
I think I would be, I think it's called is it a durian? You know those crazy Southeast Asian fruits that smell like a kind of vomit suppository, and they taste slightly better?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Them, you know what I mean? That sort of thing that people just hold their nose and eat it anyway.
Yeah. That's great.
Either that or a rambutan, you know, the thinking man's lychee.
Oh, yes.
They're very exotic. Look at you go.
Oh, well, there's a lot of people out there who'll be like, yeah, I'd be an apple. You'll be like, oh, there's no joy to be had there.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially when you've got good fruit out there. You
Yeah,
know,
man.
Your dragon fruits, your mangosteens, that kind of stuff.
You seem very educated on your fruits.
Oh, well, you know, that's one thing about life. You can just probably wander through eating oranges all the time, or you can mix it up a bit.
That's awesome. Thank you very much for that. And thank you so much for your time, Chopper.
No worries at all. Thanks for having a chat.
Awesome.
Sweet as.
Good luck with your shows as well.
Thanks very much. And yeah, thanks again for, giving me a chance to kind of get out there and give it a bit of a plug.
Not a
Awesome.
problem.